Hello, 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 everybody. It's Carmelita McRoy here, and this is day 5 of me talking about my ebook, Daddy Issues. Hope you guys join me all of this week as I talked about daddy issues. It's an ebook that I put out earlier this year, and it is really something that is dear to my heart because I know that our Black communities especially are suffering because of daddy issues, because daddy's not there, because daddy is not doing what he's supposed to do, because daddy is not showing love, daddy is not being in position like he should be. So that is the reason why we do have a lot of issues in our Black community with our children all the way up to adulthood, because the problem is that a lot of little girls who hurt because of daddy issues end up being women who hurt, and they don't want to admit why they're hurting. They don't get help. And I'm saying it's time to heal. It's time to heal. Time to heal that little girl in you who was hurt years ago by your daddy, so that you can live free as a woman, so that you can stop being angry and people wondering why, what are you angry about, or your partner or your husband or friends or whatever wonder why your mood swings or why you do certain things, because it's real. Daddy issues are real. Little girls suffer early with daddy issues all the way up to adulthood. And if we don't focus on it and getting them help and talking to them about it, it lingers into adulthood, unfortunately. But today, I told you guys, boys suffer as well. I wrote from a woman's perspective because I can only write from what I know. So, but I had to put an insert in there, a set chapter in there that talked about sons, because boys suffer with daddy issues as well. Only thing is, with boys, you have to catch them early to talk to them about daddy issues, because they become silent. But if you wait to their teen years to discuss it, you won't get any conversation from them. By the age of 13 or so, they're not going to talk about it. They're not going to be open about it. Some will, but most won't be open about it, their issues with their dad and how they feel. So make sure you talk to your son early if his father is not around, if his father's incarcerated, if his father's deceased, if he doesn't know his dad. Make sure you start talking to him about that early in life. Don't just look at it as that, they're a kid, they'll get over it, and, probably won't, suffer too much with it or whatever, because that's totally not true. So make sure you start talking to them early and not later, especially boys. Girls, of course, women are very verbal. They're always going to be verbal and talk about things, but boys will not be the same way. They get very quiet like men do, and you don't want that, because you don't want them going to adulthood with that. As I said last night, one of the main signs of boys who have daddy issues is those who go into those gangs. They go into gangs and they start looking at those leaders of the gang as a father figure. And when they look to them for a father figure, that is what causes issues. When grown men take advantage of little boys, that causes an issue as well. So a lot of men who sleep around, they're just like women. But we don't talk about that. We talk about women being promiscuous, and they have issues going on, mental issues, and that's how they deal with it. But men do the same thing. They want love. They want affection. They sleep around with women looking for that thing, but never making a commitment. So they do the same thing. They sleep around. They're hurting. Men hurt too, just like women, but they hide it because society tells them you can't cry and be a man about it. When men need to find a safe place. And it's hard for them to find a safe place because women get mad at me and bring it back up. You remember when you was crying and this and this and this, I'm just keeping it real, Women, sometimes we are pretty hard and we don't let them be soft. But remember, once you get on a boy or a man about crying, they're not going to do it no more. They're not going to do it in front of you anyway. And so a lot of men have daddy issues and they struggle with it for years, and they really don't talk about it because it's like, I'm not going to get upset about my dad. I'm a man. you know? Or you have boys that's trying to take on, I'm gonna be the man in this house. He don't want to stay here. He don't want to take care of things. I'm gonna be the man in the house. And you put that on them, and it's so heavy on them. I'm gonna tell you a perfect example of what I'm talking about is the young boy in Florida. I don't know how many of you saw that article. Promising career as a football player. His mom and him and his brothers were homeless. They had nowhere to stay. Family wouldn't let them stay with them. They got to a hotel one night, and mom just happened to get some money from someone to get in the hotel. They had been sleeping in the car. Promising career in football. Went and stood in front of the train tracks and committed suicide. It was overwhelming for him to deal with his mom being homeless. I guess him not knowing what to do. My question was at that time, like, where was their dads? Why hadn't their dads taken on to even give the boys a home? You know, maybe their dads didn't have a home. Maybe their dads was incarcerated. But I believe an interview said they talked to the dad. So where was he at? Or was the mother not telling the dad? I don't know, but it was too much on him. And I think he knew they were looking to him to go do that football scholarship, probably to be professional one day. But the thing was is that he couldn't get in his head. He could not leave his family. Some people said that he had talked about he was going to be going away and he would have somewhere to stay, and they wouldn't. His mom and brothers wouldn't. It's such a sad situation. But the thing was, he was so quiet about it. You know, he asked his mom, if I went around, are y'all going to be okay when I go to school? And she said, we're going to be good. You go to school. You go to school. But I don't think she knew he was hurting as much as he was hurting. And yes, they had a bad situation, but where was Dad? He needed that man there to talk to him, to assure him it's going to be okay. That man to take them on in his household, whatever it was. They needed that. So, like I said, boys get quiet. A lot of times boys, when they have daddy issues, they have anger issues. They suffer with a lot of anger. And you wonder, like, what's wrong with him because of dealing with those daddy issues, you know? And nothing is worse than seeing a young boy watching other dads with their sons and their dad is not around. That's very hurtful to them, but boys don't express it. They act out. They get angry. They do things in school. They don't sit down. They act like they always, you know, got something wrong and they're mean and hateful. And sometimes people don't look at the core problem of some of the issues of boys. But a lot of them, they have daddy issues, but they're quiet about it. They're not vocal like girls. Girls are very vocal. They're going to tell you. You know, they might not tell you right away, but they eventually tell you, or you could tell better with girls. Boys keep the poker face. I'm not going to cry. I don't care about this dude not being around. I'm good. That's how they talk. That's how they call. I ain't thinking about him, this and that, when they actually do. They need their dad, you know? So boys suffer with daddy issues too. We talk a lot about women with daddy issues, and that is true. Girls suffer with it all the way into womanhood, but boys suffer with it too. Another thing with boys and daddy issues is that they look for someone to represent dad. That's how a lot of boys end up getting molested by men who are over their basketball teams and over their baseball teams and different things like that. Those men, they look to them as a father figure and they abuse it. And we have to watch out for our boys like our girls, because I had to keep telling myself that. My son would say I was overprotective, but my thing was, I saw too many people, they always was protective about the girls, but you have to be protective about your boys too. Because people try to do things to them and get over on them. And especially when you're a single mom and the man is not around, or he doesn't have a close relationship with his dad and the dad is not there. Men see that, you know, predators see that. People see that as a sign of weakness. I had several issues in my life where I saw people trying to, I don't want to say take advantage of my kids, because that's not what they were doing, but they probably would have had they thought I was weak. But I was that type to let you know right away, I'm not playing about my kids. And you're not going to play game here. You're not going to run game. I got this. I'm the daddy with the shotgun. You know what I'm saying? I don't play games like that. And so that protected my children from a lot of things, some things they didn't even know. But because God has given me a discerning spirit, I picked up on some things when people were trying to come around with my kids. So you have to watch all of them. But know that boys suffer with daddy issues. And if your son's dad is not around, talk to him about it. Don't act like I'm taking care of him. He good. I'm here. No, talk to him about it. That boy needs his dad. He wants his dad around, whether you want the dad around or not. Okay? Moving forward. Is toward the end, I think it's the last chapter in the ebook. Moving forward is just releasing all the bitterness, the hate, the anger, and healing from it. Release everything that you've been feeling so that you can be free. So that you can be free, so that you can heal. And remember, every man is not the same. Every man is not the same. Every man is not your dad. And he's not the man that's going to hurt you. We have to start trusting men again, women. We do. We have to start trusting men again after we've been hurt by our dad. And it's very hard to trust men after we've been hurt by a dad. But you have to start trusting again. Ask God to help you with that healing. We have to know that it's not normal for men to cause you rejection and hurt and pain. Because sometimes how your dad treats you, you think that's how all men are going to treat you. My dad hurt me, so I understand men hurt you. No. It doesn't have to be that way. So just because your dad didn't treat you right does not mean it's normal. And you have to settle for someone to treat you that way. So know that you don't have to settle for it at all. Let's see. Know and believe that you are special and that you deserve the best. If nobody has told you, you deserve the best. You are enough, sis. It doesn't matter if your dad didn't affirm you. God has affirmed you. Your Heavenly Father has affirmed you. And you are enough. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to let it go. All the anger that you feel towards your dad, the hurt you feel. Talk to him about it. And if you can't talk to him, talk to God about it and release it. Yes, it will take time, but your healing is coming. And for those who have little girls and you know your daughters are suffering with it, talk to them about it. They need to be healed too. Journaling, even have little girls journal so you can know how they feel. Tell them anytime they get sad, oh, this is a big thing. Daddy supposed to come get him on his weekend and he don't show up. That's the most hurtful thing for any child. Have them write about it. How do you feel about it? You need to write about it. That's what you need to do. I didn't really put this in the ebook, but I will be talking about it in the book when it's released. Sometimes the issue with daddy issues, I'm not going to say it's always men. We have to say that. Sometimes it's your mom that's bitter. Your mom's angry. He doesn't want her. They didn't work out, whatever it is. And so sometimes dads want to be involved, the ones who want to be involved and are trying to be there for their kids emotionally, financially, and spiritually. They may be trying to be there in all those areas. But mom is bitter and mom doesn't want them to. So that does happen. We can't leave that out, that it's always the dad. Because sometimes your mom is angry. You know when she's angry. And that's one thing. I'm that type. My kid's father told him that he should turn me in for child abuse or child neglect, something. Because if he didn't come get them on his weekend, I dropped them off at the door. And I kept going. So say what you want. You the daddy, and you gonna have a part in this. So I always laugh when they tell me that he said that. I said, really? And I said, oh, they was going to tell him, sir, why don't you have the kids? And what's wrong with you keeping them? They're yours. So, that's just funny because I had got to a point where I was like, no, you're not going to skip your weekends. These are your kids too. You're going to spend time with them. Okay, I'll just drive right by. I'll see your car there. All right. Drop the kids off. I'm going to pull on down. Y'all go on in. I'll see y'all on Sunday. Yes. And sometimes you have to do that to them. And it's sad that you have to do that to them. But you didn't make a child by yourself. That's all I'm saying. So sometimes you got to do a little crazy, a little cray-cray. I did plenty of them. But yes. At first I used to be like, you know, I had the kids, and I'm like, I can't never get. Now I didn't do it all the time. Sometimes he didn't come, he just didn't come. I didn't even feel like going through the whole, you know, argument or whatever. I let it ride. But sometimes it was like, no, I'm going to get out and go out with my girlfriends. I'm going to go and just have some adult time, and you're going to get your children. As simple as that. You know, I let you buy all the time. You never get them on your weekends, you know. So it's a lot of times the men, but I just wanted to say sometimes it is mom. If mom is angry and she won't do it. And even though me and him didn't get along, and I didn't care for him, but I'm like, you gonna be in these kids' life. I don't play that. They ain't gonna see their daddy now. I'm not gonna play that. Yeah, you will see him. I'm gonna drop you off at that door. You know, so we can't do that. We can't be angry, so angry that we make our children miss out on what they need. We can't make our children miss out on what they need. You know, it's just too many Black girls, especially, have daddy issues. And they need to heal. They need to heal, but do it early. Don't wait till she starts having all these issues at 16. If you see it early in them, talk to them about it. Start the healing process. Explain to them something, you know, whatever way you find, because everybody's different. You can't use the same thing with everyone. And sometimes it may be deep enough that they may need some counseling or some therapy. So just know that. So just know to get my ebook at www.payhelp.com/Carmelita McElroy and www.carmelitaMcElroy.com. And I want to thank you guys for joining me this week. This is the last night for Daddy Issues, but I will be back next week with some other things that'll be going live about. Just remember, I have the Mom Success Sessions where I coach moms to a better life for business, personally and business, to overcome mom guilt, deal with time management with their children, and just have a better life altogether. I coach women into that because it's overwhelming being a mom a lot of days. It really is. I'm not even gonna lie. Raising 8 children as a single mom by myself, I mean, no financial help, no physically help really, but a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard, but I've learned a lot. I bumped my head a lot of times, and I want to help a lot of the younger mothers not have to go through the things that I have gone through in order to survive. Because yes, my life did slow down. It didn't stop, but it did slow down in some areas because I had no support system. And so, you know, that's what we have to get, a good support system and know how to make better decisions, you know. So just make sure you join me for that as well. I'll put everything in the bottom there in the comment section. I'll leave it there. And I just want to tell you guys, like I said, look me up on my website, www.CarmelitaMcElroy.com. And remember to always expect it, believe it, receive it. God bless.